it, I think, helped and gave the scene a bit more distinction. And there's always something we said about rain. It's very effective on any level. You have 5 strangers, and they come together for a film, and you're supposed to believe that they gel as a unit. Mercenaries.
Yes.
Matthew was, I think, the first one cast.
My manager said, listen, they want to see you for Rambo. And I was like, Rambo? The Rambo? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, you're kidding. They're doing another Rambo movie? That's fantastic.
He struck me as being physical and intellectual at the same time.
Those people going in there with no weapons, just books and meds. It's noble.
And I got the sides of Lewis, angry SAS guy. I'm like, okay. I wanted to take it in a slightly different direction in the reading, and I went and met with the casting director and read the scene.
And he downplayed his good looks and brought a kind of simpatico to a character like a sniper, because most snipers are incredibly withdrawn. They're a certain kind of personality that can sit in a tree for 5 days or isolate themselves and deal with loneliness throughout their career and accept that.
I got another phone call and they said, can you come back again? Because Sly wants you to spend a little bit more time with him. So I went back and we spoke about absolutely everything. He'd done so much research on so many different things, and we were talking about the Army, about the SAS, about the SBS, and he started speaking to me about Schoolboy. And I was like, oh, okay. Why is he talking to me about this other character? And then I kind of cottoned on.
Matthew had an accessibility that I thought was necessary.
That was it. I got a phone call and they said, listen, Sly's going to call you within the next, 15 minutes to tell you you've got the role. And did a little jig.
Oi, Schoolboy. You stick your noble nose into other people's business, you get fucked up or you get dead. The only reason I'm doing this is for an ex-wife and 3 kids. And after this shit is over, you can shove that soldiering right up your ass.
Try the decaf, mate.
Fuck off. And you, I don't want to fucking die of old age before I get there, so move.
For Graham, totally different type. I wasn't looking at that type at all. I was thinking physically different, a little bit more brutish, almost a mirror image of Rambo.
I thought I was going to be meeting the casting director, obviously, and going to her office, and I'm sitting around, and there's all these posters of Rocky and Rambo everywhere, and I'm just like, shit, this is his office. I'm just digesting that particular little piece of information, and his presence just looms up next to me, and I look up and he's like, hey, how you doing?
He came in, he just nailed it. I wanted a man that was just full of antagonism, anger, and at the very end, he never lets up. But he redeems himself in the eyes of the audience by being consistent, but in the end, he's truly a warrior and brave and willing to die for an ideal.
Although, in the movie, he's a bit of an arsehole, really, in lots of ways. Just a loudmouth, thinks he's great, thinks he's the alpha male, all the rest of it. But behind that is an actual, understanding of the situation. And Sly was very, very keen that came across, that he isn't a bad guy. He's just seen perhaps a little more of this stuff than the others. Especially perhaps Matt's idealistic character as Schoolboy. I know what's going to happen, and it's not going to end well.
At the end, he's still a savagely loyal person to an ideal, and Graham had that.
Look at this fucking place. Only a fucking ape would live here. What the fuck am I doing here?
Hey, knock that shit off. I went in for an audition, just like everybody else. I mean, they had, the normal audition process.
He plays Inju, which is kind of an interesting situation because being Oriental and he's also set against Orientals, it kind of like was a dual role. And I think he played this frustration a little bit, like I'm over here, I'm shut down from the world, I'm not a very talkative person, but I'm feeling everything that's going on.
I got a call saying that Sly wanted to meet me. The meeting was very brief, let's just put it that way. I went in, introduced myself, and we said hello, and we talked about, a few things, as far as what he wanted with the movie and that kind of thing.
He kind of evolves as this very aggressive and heroic character that is willing to go all the way to save a person, put another person before him. He's a very, very tough character. In the end, we find out that he is incredibly gifted as a warrior, and you feel real sympathy for the character. And he's incredibly athletic, which is good, because as much as I love the Mercenaries, none of them are going to be joining Circus Soleil soon. Sorry, guys.
There's 2 of them in the cage. Near the pigs. Get them.
Got it.
So Ray was cast as the character of Diaz, and he's much more of an urban character. He's tattoos. He's kind of an individual that you could see around town, a stand-up guy, and you say, what is he doing in the jungle? It was kind of a dichotomy.
When I walked into the office, there was no one there. I thought I had the wrong time or something, and it turned out it was just going to be a one-on-one meeting with Sly. And he came walking out of the office, and wife beater with the sandwich in his hand and said, "Oh, I'll be right with you." And he went down the hall, and I just thought, what the hell's going on? And there's no one else here.
I wanted him to be kind of a flippant character, but in a film like this, there's not a lot of time to go on and on and on, I think, about the backstory of these characters. And I think in a very economical way, you kind of got an essence of who he is.
In our conversation, he never actually offered me the job. He insinuated the entire time from the very beginning of our conversation that I was going to be there with him. And he started to imply all the things he wanted me to do, how to prepare. And he just said, "You're going to be great. I'll see you there." And he just walked back into his office. And I turned around and looked at the secretary, because there's the only person there, you know, and I said, did I just get this job? And she said, "Oh, honey, you've had the job. He just hasn't had time to meet you yet." And that was it. So that was my first meeting with Sly. It was very brief, to the point, and if anything, it was foreshadowing to exactly who he is as a person and how he works. He's very concise, and he knows what he wants, and he just gets it done.
You know those generals in there making millions, cranking out meth more than any other place on the fucking planet.
Bullshit.
Millions, moron.
How do you think they pay for that shit on?
Yeah, try reading the paper redneck instead of sleeping under it.
There's certain kinds of mercenaries. Some of them do it for religious reasons, some of them do it for political reasons, some of them do it because they're ex-military and they really can't go anywhere else. Some of them do it because they just hate their life at home and they feel more at home, literally, in an isolated situation. Then you have people that are just a little mentally challenged. And Jake LaBotte came in, and he just reminded me of a retro in every situation.
You know, I'm kind of rolling through my emails one morning, and there's an email that says, Rambo. And I'm thinking, this is a spam for Viagra. Go all night like Rambo or something like that. So I'm about to throw it away. I'm just about to click delete. And it suddenly occurs to me, like, you know, this might be something, so just open it up. And sure enough, it was an email about coming in to do an audition for Rambo. The casting director remembered me from a Steve Buscemi movie that I'd done with her.
He was perfect. I mean, what you see is what you get. He's calm. He doesn't have all the mannerisms of an actor who's spent too much time in acting class or in front of a mirror. It's real.
They showed him the tape, and he came out and he said hi to me, shook my hand, you know. Can you gain 10 pounds, carry a 200-pound guy in a stretcher through the forest up a hill? And I'm like, yes, I can do it. And he handed me a script, and that was that.
So I was very fortunate to find a guy like that.